The Audi Q3 has proven to be a great success in the US, and the all-new 2027 Q3 is poised to build on that popularity by essentially making it a mini Audi Q5. The spunky little sibling in the Volvo lineup is the XC40, but unlike the Q3, it has seen a noticeable decline in sales over the past year. But it's still arguably the most visually attractive small luxury SUV out there. And in an effort to keep up with the market, Volvo has also slightly updated the XC40 in 2025. Are these updates enough to keep the all-new Q3 from taking its crown? Well, that's exactly what you will find out by the end of this video. So, without any further ado, let's jump into it. Audi's refined but conservative look has undergone something of a renaissance, and this all-new Q3 embodies it. The front fascia is a complete departure from the current model with a redesigned grille that's slightly smaller than the previous generation, inside which new headlights are positioned with the trendy new split design of the DRLs that the bigger Q5 never got. From the side, there are no sharp lines compared to the previous generation, with subtle sculpting through the door panels and a massive crease toward the base of the doors that disguises some of the visual mass of the profile. As for wheels, it comes standard with 17 inches, with 18s, 19s, and 20s being optional. Out back, it's been completely redesigned again, featuring a massive light bar spanning the entire width of the tailgate, above which new slimmer taillights with OLED technology, allowing the driver to customize their design from 6 different options. The bumper has also been completely redesigned with a fake grille motif without any exhaust to be seen. The Volvo XC40's boxy design is arguably one of the most attractive to look at in the entire segment. The front fascia remains largely unchanged, save for a new grille with vertical chrome accents, while the headlights now feature a sharper Thor's hammer DRL motif. Volvo's design just has a way of never looking old or going out of style. The side profile is more upright and SUV-like, especially if you compare it to the Q3, being 2.5 inches taller but almost 3 inches shorter. Design-wise, however, there is not much going on to really point out. Around back, Volvo's signature LED taillights extend vertically along the rear pillars, the tailgate is handsomely sculpted with the Volvo word marks sitting front and center, while the integrated spoiler adds a hint of sportiness. At least personally, while the new Q3 is more interesting to look at, Volvo's timeless design is my favorite here. But what do you think? Please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you! Jumping inside, gone are the old cabin's sharp angles and understated look. Instead, the all-new Q3 gets a new dashboard with a very different look. The two-tier design goes a long way in creating a sense of space inside, and as you'd expect of Audi, build quality is pretty good and the use of high-quality materials across various surfaces is top-notch. The massive odd-looking dimpled mirror trim ahead of the passenger, however, feels like a missed opportunity for some more storage space area. The big distinction between the Q3 and the Q5 is 1. The third screen ahead of the passenger, which is not available here, and the second is the gear selector that was moved from the center console to a selector behind the steering wheel. What it shares with the Q5, however, is the new digital stage that employs a single rectangular physical housing integrating an 11.9-inch instrument cluster and a 12.9-inch touchscreen. One immediate improvement is this latest Android OS-based system, which is fast and allows the navigation to be displayed directly in the virtual cockpit. One downside, however, is that the climate controls are now integrated into the touchscreen, but that's really to be expected these days. Both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. The XC40, on the other hand, is as Swedish as it gets. It boasts a premium look with materials to match, resulting in a vibe that few of its competitors can match. The padded and stitched leather on the doors, armrests, and center console are a nice touch, as is the alloy trim on the air vents that seem to stick out from within the dash. Admittedly, these fancy touches like the aluminum are absent in the lower trim levels, but the overall interior ambiance remains more premium and stylish than that in the new Q3. And just like in the Audi, climate controls are managed through the touchscreen. When it comes to infotainment, there are 2 digital displays, a 12.3-inch gauge cluster, and a 9-inch touchscreen in the center console of the dash that controls just about everything. Would prefer a few more physical buttons and knobs, but the touchscreen is responsive enough, and just like the new Q3, its Android OS-based interface will be familiar to anyone who has used a smartphone. Some of the on-screen buttons are too small, however, as if Volvo forgot to scale them up from phone size. The digital gauge cluster, it serves its purpose well. When it comes to passenger cargo space, the base seats in the Q3 are quite boring to look at, but are fairly comfortable. However, it's a real shame that the sport buckets you see here won't be offered in the US. The front seats offer 40 inches of legroom, while the rear seats offer 36.1 inches. This is fine for the segment, but even shorter occupants might find things less than spacious. The rear bench can slide backwards and forwards and recline, but legroom is tight even in the furthest position. As for cargo space, with the rear seats up, you will have around 20 cubic feet. When more space is required, folding the 40-20-40 split second-row seats increases overall cargo space to 44 cubic feet. As for Volvo, although the XC40 is slightly smaller on the outside than the Q3, they are virtually identical inside. The amount of room inside is adequate for 4 occupants to ride around, and the seats both front and back are supremely comfortable, especially compared to Audi's base ones. The back seat is a little small for larger adults, but that comes with the territory for most in this segment. As for cargo capacity, it offers 16 cubic feet of space behind its back seat, which is around 4 cubic feet less than the Audi. With the rear seats back folded, space increases to 57.5 cubic feet. As far as pricing goes, the new Q3 is supposed to start around $42,000. Audi then breaks down the trim hierarchy into Premium and Premium Plus versions, with a single engine available with both. The Premium Plus is $44,200, and it's mandatory if you want heated steering wheel and seats and the premium sound system. Pricing for the 2026 XC40 starts at a slightly cheaper $41,200 for the two-wheel drive core model, but the best one to get is the Plus trim at $45,000. With it, you can get things like a panoramic moonroof and high-performance audio system. The top Ultimate trim goes for $52,500. When it comes to on-road performance, the Q3 is powered by a revised version of the brand's trusty turbocharged 2-liter 4. It's rated for 255 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, mated to a new 7-speed automatic dual-clutch transmission. It takes less than 7 seconds to get to 60, almost a second longer than the XC40 with the more powerful B5 engine, but despite being slower, there is ample low-end torque, making day-to-day driving less of a chore than before. But when it comes to engagement, it just kind of exists. It negotiates turns easily enough, but it's not really exciting or eager in the way that vehicles in this size should be. What is improved, however, is the quick steering, which provides more on-center feel than the outgoing model. The interior sound insulation is also a high point, thanks to the new acoustically laminated front windows. The XC40, on the other hand, brings back the entry-level B4 engine, making a healthy 194 horsepower and 221 pound-feet. For an extra $2,700, the B5 model puts out 248 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque with all-wheel drive. The torque arrives at just 1,800 RPM and remains for another 3,000 revs. The 8-speed automatic provides the power cleanly without any hiccups or hesitation, unlike the Q3's dual-clutch transmission sometimes, especially at low speeds. It's a shame, however, that Volvo's shifter takes a double tap when shifting from reverse to drive. It never fails to make 3-point turns feel awkward. The steering wheel is expectedly light yet accurate, pointing the XC40 towards a tight corner, however, at speed, and the body leans in, reminding you that this isn't a Polestar model. There are other requisite selectable drive modes on board, but it just doesn't feel like it suits sport. Instead, leave it in regular mode and enjoy a comfortable ride. It mainly feels in its element on jolly curves at highway speeds, where there is less wind noise than you'd expect given its boxy shape. But again, compared to the new Q3, its aging platform is starting to show its weaknesses. So, which one should you get? Well, I think this is a tough one. Although they cost around the same, the Audi's more refined ride and more powerful powertrain as standard make a really good case for it. But the XC40's, at least to my eyes, offers a better looking interior and exterior. So if it were up to me, I'd go with the new Q3, since comfort and refinement are what matter the most.